What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back finally to another video. I hope you guys have been having a great time and enjoying all your rides. But today I finally have some updates on the Camaro. Along with, we're going to be installing a cold air intake and seeing if that cold air intake makes a difference on a truck that's bone stock and really has no tune or anything. So, do cold air intakes work or make a difference? We'll find out. Alright guys, so if you guys are new, I do have a Patreon account and I have a goal set to get to 1,000 Patreons, and when I do, this Mach 1 Mustang is the Mustang that I'm going to be giving away to one of you 1,000 lucky recurring Patreon subscribers. Now, the money from Patreon accounts also is to give back to you guys. So in January last month, I gave away a $50 gift card. This month, I'm going to give another $50 gift card. And as long as the Patreon account grows, so will the prizes. So every month, I'm giving away stuff. And every month after that, even after we give away this Mustang, I will be giving away big prizes. If we can get to 1,000 Patreons, I can get you guys superchargers, full tune kits, stage 1 cam kits, all kinds of stuff, and I'm super excited about that, along with, you know, Visa gift cards and things like that. So make sure you go to the link down in the description below and subscribe and become a Patreon to help me grow this channel, along with giving back to you guys even more than I would with what I get right now from YouTube. So first of all, guys, as you guys can see, this is where the Camaro would typically be, and it's not here. And that's because the car is finally at the collision center getting fixed. It took a little bit, but everything went through, and now the car is getting fixed. They've got all that detailed out. It is going to be about a week and a half or 2 more weeks to get all that taken care of. Some preliminary inspection of the damage showed that, yes, of course, we did need to replace the coolant radiator that's on the side corner, a lot of small bracketry and plastic trim pieces, the whole front bumper, and steering rack as well. They try to do a diagnosis, and usually because it's electric, you're better off just swapping the whole steering rack out and we will be good to go. So about 2 weeks to get that taken care of, and I'm really excited. I'm happy about it. They're going to get through it. Now, some of the cool things they're going to be doing, we are going to be going with the 2020 midsection without the bow tie. So we're going to get rid of that bow tie. I already had covered it up anyways when I did the vinyl, so that shouldn't be a big noticeable difference. I just won't have that little embossing, I guess. But we are going to be doing that. And we are going to be painting that front trim piece instead of vinyl wrapping it. So that is really awesome. So we'll be color match paint everything. So the Camaro is on its way and it's going to be made back whole again. I'm excited, I'm glad. And in the meantime, I've still got a few things coming. I actually ordered this about 3 months ago, back in November when they first announced them. And they had the carbon fiber versions, but not the fiberglass versions. So I had to wait on those, and it finally arrived, and I finally have it here. And so that's what you see here is this package here, and we'll open it up and show you guys. But this is the Anvil notched wing spoiler for the 6th gen. I believe Lethal Garage already has his on, but he has a carbon fiber version. The fiberglass versions were not available just yet until a couple weeks ago. So this is that fiberglass version. So we'll open this up and show you guys just what that looks like. All right, so packaging pretty good. Just has this cover on. As you guys can see, it is nicely wrapped. So let's pull that out. Very nice wrap here. So let's pull this off and show you guys the final product. Well, there it is, guys. This is the Anvil notch spoiler for the 6th gen in a fiberglass, not carbon fiber version. And as you guys can see, it's pre-drilled pretty much for all of the different types of mounting. So this thing will fit your 1LE, your SS, your RS, all of that is all pre-drilled. And you've got kind of here a couple kind of studs and screws. And so I believe these two, this top one and this bottom one, are what I will be using. And they're actually threaded. I don't know if you guys can see there. So you screw in a bolt. Didn't come with the hardware, so I'm thinking I'm gonna have to go find the bolts, the screws to bolt into here. But it does have this one here, which I need to kind of remove and see if this one's threaded for the nut, and I believe it is. But overall, guys, I'm really excited. This is, yep, it is already, the bolt is already chased, so you can see there it's got the thread, so that's going to slide in on both ends. And then you're going to use the factory kind of washer nut here, and then you can use a bolt on the bottom. So really, really nice. I can't wait to put this on. I love this aggressive little notch here. So what do you guys think? I'm excited. I want to put this on. I need to get it, to take it to go get painted, and then basically wait for the car to get here and we'll have this on. So look forward to a video of me installing this. But for now, let's go ahead, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna get in the truck. I'm gonna use the draggy, and we're gonna do 0 to 60 times. It is raining, but remember guys, this truck is all-wheel drive, so it shouldn't be any issue. We'll also do 0 to 60 and then like a 30 to 80 speed run and see just how much time it takes, and then we'll compare it before and after with the air intake. All right, guys, we are in the 2011 Sierra Denali. This thing is bone stock, all-wheel drive. It is raining, but with all-wheel drive, you don't really worry about traction. So we've got the draggy set up, and let's go do some 0 to 60 and 30 to 80 mile per hour pulls and see how this truck does. Don't expect anything crazy, but this is bone stock, no air intake, no nothing. And then we're gonna come back and we will add the air intake system and see the results, see if we get any kind of noticeable or measurable differences. So I'm excited. Let's go find out how this works. So we're going to completely disable traction control and stability control, and that'll give us the best launch, I would assume. So we've got stability track off, we've got traction control off, and we'll just let the all-wheel drive system do what it's got to do. Able to get that 60 in 6.75 seconds again. Now let's see if we can do a 30 to 80. So completely come to a stop. Ready, set, go. That was a pretty good smooth one, and we can see this last one we had 0 to 60 in 6.74 seconds, so very consistent 0 to 60 time. We had 30 to 80 in 8.5 seconds, a quarter mile of 15 seconds flat. Alright guys, so as you can see, I mean, this thing is bone stock. It should be fairly easy. I believe the kit that we use still uses this stock air box here. We are just going to have to change, we're just changing out the actual filter in here, and it's a couple of these hex screws and then this elbow here. So let's go check out what intake I got and why I got it. Okay guys, so check it out. Here is my kit. This is the Air Raid Vic Junior intake, and as you can see, it is an elbow. It comes with all the couplers, it comes with the band clamps along with a PCV valve and your high flow premium filter and some stickers and more instructions. So should be fairly simple. As you guys can see, this is the 201 796 Junior kit with the dry media red filter. So it's a dry filter, and this should be very simple. And this intake elbow design is going to help transition and flow the air much better than the stock one. So let's go ahead and remove the stock one so we can get this one installed. Alright guys, so I'm trying out this new cap mount here. So to remove this elbow, we're going to need to probably take this cover off, remove this clamp here, so that takes it here, and then there is, I believe, look at all this huge stuff. So this plant here, this needs to kind of pop off of here, and we should have another clamp down here. So let's go ahead and we'll loosen up this clamp, we'll loosen up that clamp, remove that, and try to pop this off. So we popped off this intake. It's just on a stud here and some clips in the back, as you guys can see here, this stud here and these clips. So this gets removed, put that to the side. Now you can see how this intake just kind of goes all over the place. So loosen up this 8mm bolt here, this 8mm bolt here, and slide that off. These hoses are just, if you guys can see, they're on a clip. So once we slide them off, it'll just pop right out. So that should be very simple. Alright, that's loose. Now you guys can see this is also guided on here. So we're gonna pop this out from here first, so that gets removed, and then now we got to pop this open up from this top, and then this can come out. So now the whole intake is removed. The only thing holding it is this piece here, which, alright, so you got to disconnect this here, and I'm going to use this trusty little tool. You basically just slide it in between there and pop it out. So that's disconnected, and now we need to disconnect this hose from the valve cover down there. Alright guys, so I ended up using this 3/8 like fuel line hose disconnect for the little PCV breather here. Although if you have some good access and can see it, it does have on this side a little clip that you pull back and can lift up to disconnect. So I think the fuel line hose kind of did the same trick of pushing it in and outward, and that helped get this. But look at this huge monstrosity, and let's compare that to the stock airbox there to the Air-Aid. I mean, so much more smoother paths, cleaner, and should hopefully improve the car. So now we've removed that. Now we can go ahead and piece this all together. So we've got 4 hose clamps. They're all the same, and we've got this coupler here, and then we've got this little bulged out coupler here. The bulged out one goes towards the air filter and the MAF, and this is at the throttle body. So when you're looking at your Air-Aid intake, this is the way that it flows. This is to the throttle body, and this is to the MAF. So this one's going to go over this side, and then this one is going to go over this side. And it doesn't need to be perfect, but that's how it goes. And then of course you're going to have a clamp on this side and a clamp on the other. So alright guys, so a little trick here: make sure you put this clamp hose on this spot before you slide in the coupler. That way it makes it easy, and it's there, it's loose, and you can still slide the coupler in. This side you put the clamp in first, and then you put in the hump. And then for the barb, it does take a little bit. I mean, this is plastic on plastic. It's a plastic barb, but it is threaded and it's a little bit oversized. So you do have to make sure you can hold this intake pretty well. You can maybe kind of clamp it with your legs and then slowly kind of push down as you're rotating the threads in. Once it grabs maybe a couple spins, then you can use a 14mm. I used a 1/2 inch 14mm deep socket and just slowly was turning it with a wrench, and that got this really kind of flush and tight. And so now we can go ahead and just plop this 3/8 hose barb over the top, and this setup is done. So now we can go to the car, pop all this in, tighten the clamps, and then I believe this just slides into the PCV system on the other side. So let's go ahead and get it on the car and show you what it looks like. So I've got everything clamped on. I started with this throttle body one first, and then this air intake has a little groove on the bottom where the previous stock one had that clamping for these hoses, and that has been kind of, you have to kind of line it up with that. So I tightened this one up first, and then I tightened this one up flush, and I put this one in. This one does take, you have to kind of figure out which way it's going to go, but once it's completely sealed, you can tighten everything up. Now the only thing we have left is this hose for the PCV, and that one just gets slid right back into here, and you got to just get it to go over that little ridge, and you are good to go. And then we have to remove 1, 2, 3, 4 of these star screws so that we can get the air filter replaced. Alright guys, so here is the one that was in the truck. It's actually pretty new. Because I did buy this truck at the dealership, they probably went ahead and replaced it before they sold the truck. So that filter is actually still fairly good, but it is probably not going to be as good as the replacement that you see here. So as you guys can see, this has a bunch of fins. This is less number of fins, and therefore should have more surface. I guess this has more surface area, but it kind of, the fins bunched up together like that kind of clog the airflow. So we've got this one here. As you guys can see, this is a dry setup and should do the trick. It is going to be interesting to see how much more it flows. As you can see, aerated, and if it even sounds any different. So let's go ahead and put this back, and very simple, you know, you just kind of got to get it in there and then just slide it in and push it all the way in around the edges. Make sure that it seals up well. The last thing you want is for any kind of leak. So right here it looks like it's kind of up, but once you clamp it down, it'll be good to go. So that's it, guys. All right, now we just put this cover on, and as you guys can see, this is so much cleaner here, much more space. You don't have that big runner going down that way, another big one down here. I believe this is gonna help the truck sound a little bit louder from the engine, but I mean, I'm not really sure. But we've got the filter, we've got the new smooth air going in. So let's put this cover back on and see how it kind of works out. All right, so let's go ahead and turn this thing on and see if we don't get any issues. So looks good. Idling looks good. Usually if you had any kind of leaks or anything like that, your idle would be completely off, but no check engine light. Let's go ahead and give it a little revs. Okay. I mean, let's kind of hear it out a little bit more. Okay. Definitely sounds a little louder, and I didn't record before, but good. We got a good idle. Yep, you can kind of hear it suck in the air. Very nice. Okay, so still no check engine light. Everything is idling really good, so that is a good sign. That means that there are no leaks anywhere, which I didn't expect. I mean, we didn't do too much, but we got everything good to go. Let's go see how this works. So just like before, we've completely disabled traction control and the stability track. So we are now going to go ahead and try our 0 to 60, 30 to 80. Alright, so I totally forgot to record that one, guys. Yeah, from the initial hit, it definitely felt like it bogged out for that first hit. It was a little too much air almost. So let's go ahead, we're gonna record here, and let's do a 30, from 30 to 80. So we're going to kind of slow down here to 30, around 30. All right, now go. I feel like it might be slower. I feel like this it might be slower. I don't know if it's just because it's getting too much air or what the deal is, but I feel like it definitely might be slower. Let's see what that 30 to 80, 9.62 seconds. So definitely much slower. That's interesting. Go completely here and go. So again, 7.5 seconds. We were at 6.75 before, so it actually got slower. And I don't know if that is a product of the truck. We're still trying to learn this new airflow, but it's actually slower. I mean, the quarter mile time, it says 15.6, but I did let off before, and still I don't think it would have been 0.6 of a second difference. So the truck is actually a lot slower, guys. All right, so we're gonna stop completely, and then we're going to go. Yep, there you have it. It is 7.49 seconds again. Definitely not as fast as it was with the stock air filter. That is interesting. Let's get back home and have a little discussion as to why this might be happening. Well, there you have it, guys. The air-aid intake actually made this truck slower. Now, keep in mind, we don't have a tune. It's still all bone stock. All we did was replace that intake elbow and that air filter. Now, why would it make it go slower? Usually, aren't aftermarket parts supposed to make you go faster? Well, in this case, I think that product is doing its job so well. In this case, this high flow air filter and this smoother air tract is allowing so much air that the MAF sensor here is kind of freaking out just a little bit. It basically is reading a lot of air, and the stock tune probably has a very, very high compensator that basically is going to dump either a lot of fuel and be too pig rich to kind of help alleviate that. The truck doesn't have a check engine light, doesn't have anything, but it is what it is. That just goes to show that these engines need to be calibrated very well. Whenever you put parts, you can't expect them to perform and do what they're supposed to do without adjusting the tune and getting it dialed in right. Case in point right here, guys. I put the cold air intake. This higher flowing air intake should give you more power, should help the truck or car or whatever be faster, but it's not. It's actually quite a bit slower. It did 6.75 seconds bone stock. Then when we did this, it ran 7.46, 7.5 seconds. So a little over 0.75 seconds, almost a full second slower. So in terms of 30 to 80 miles an hour, guys, we were getting 8.6, 8.5, 30 to 80 mile per hour bone stock. And once we did the intake, after the intake, we were getting 9.1, 9.2. So it was another half a second slower. That is not what I expected, to be honest. I didn't expect to gain a lot, but I expected to maybe gain a little bit. So either way, guys, I don't take this that this is a sucky intake or that this just does not work, because again, the truck is not tuned for it. It does need a tune. We do need to tune this thing. Once we tune it, then that extra airflow can be accounted for, and we can start actually making some power and being faster. So stick around and stay tuned for that video, because we will get this thing tuned, and then we'll go back to the draggy and see what the differences are after that. So anyways, comment down below, guys. Let me know what you guys thought. Are you surprised that it went slower? Did you think it was maybe gonna go faster? I'm a little surprised of how slow it was, but also it is what it is, and I can guarantee you once it's tuned, the airflow will be accounted for, and this truck will be a little bit faster. And it's not the Camaro, but it'll get the job done for what I needed to do, pulling and doing all that stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I was surprised, very, very surprised. And let me know in the comments down below, what would you like to see? What would you like to see on this truck? I think it's going to be pretty cool. A little build here. I've got some ideas, but it'll have to hold while we're working on the Camaro. So just like that, guys, I'll see you guys in the next video.